Hey guys, Pastor Brian here from Trek in Jesus and the Brian Donahue podcast. Check us out on all the platforms or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Trek in Jesus is all about listening, learning, and discerning. We believe in listening with compassion and care and concern for our fellow human beings, whether they're on the opposite side of the political aisle, of a different ethnicity or race, different religion, different background, whatever. We believe in listening. I believe that Jesus listened to those he interacted with, and as Christ followers, that's something that we should do. As Trekkies, it's something that we certainly should do as well, because that's what Star Trek teaches us, is that we listen and we learn and we debate and we use diplomacy and we talk. We use our words to interact with each other way before we use hate speech, way before we use bombs and weapons and hurt each other, sometimes in a very final way. And so we're living in a day and time where that doesn't seem to be happening, where discussion and debate doesn't seem to be winning the day, when it's very hard to listen because there's so much hate speech being thrown out and name-calling being thrown out in every direction. And I just want to challenge us today, because I've seen this in every venue, from every political party, and it has certainly sneaked into Christianity and into the church, but also I've seen it sneak into the Trek community, where we can be so frustrated with the president who calls names and ridicules and uses hate speech to manipulate people and to gain control and power and manipulating the truth. But yet sometimes we use that same hate speech towards other people, even right back at him in particular. And I just want to call us to something higher, to something better than that. I believe that Star Trek teaches us that discussion should win the day, that talking it out should be our first act, that we should try with all of our heart to have diplomacy and to listen and learn and discern from each other and with each other as we talk about issues of our day, even war, even issues of lifestyle and sexuality and religion and politics. All the more for those things, we need to be listening to each other. It does not mean we have to agree. It does not mean that we have to say amen to each other, especially if we feel there's something not true being spoken, something untrue, things, even if they're lies. We need to listen and let people talk and hear their story, hear where they're coming from, and then go back and forth, and hopefully they'll give us the opportunity to share our story. This is why I've arrived at this conclusion. This is why I defend this point. This is why I believe this is true. This is why I believe this is untrue. And we need to go back and forth with the listening and the learning. And so our call to action this week, and this is one of our longer call to actions, it might be one of the harder ones too that I've ever issued, but it is to simply listen to our neighbors, listen to our coworkers, listen to our classmates, our family members who maybe are on the other side of the political aisle than us, who maybe practice their faith differently than we do. Whatever it is, that we are going to put ourselves in positions of humility to listen to those around us. And in doing so, I believe we will open the door. If we listen and care about how someone's feeling, even if we disagree with how they arrived at that point, I'm telling you, it is powerful to open doors for us to also share our opinion. Now, here's the hard thing about this. We live in a country where we often, whoever is the loudest seems to win the day way too often, way too much. And so this is going to take an act of humility. This means we're going to have to humble ourselves, sometimes before people that really frustrate us, right? But I'm telling you, if we do that, there is a power that is released when we listen and when we show compassion. Again, even if we disagree with that person, we're showing that compassion. And what we're doing is we're giving each other dignity. We're giving someone else dignity, whether we think they deserve it or have earned it or not. If we believe that every human being has dignity, which Trek teaches us, and certainly the Bible and Jesus teaches us, then we ought to care enough for each other to listen. Sometimes the most effective tool towards peace is actually somebody shutting up and listening. That wasn't perfect English, but you get my point, I hope. So this week, our call to action as Jesus followers, as Trekkies, is to maybe be slow to speak, to listen to the stories from the people around us, especially those on the other side of the political aisle than we are, especially those who have a different faith than we do, especially those that live differently than us, whatever that means for you. Let's be listeners, let's be learners, and let's discern together. Until next time, live long and prosper, and keep on trekking.